Now that the 2021 season is all wrapped up and finished, the first thing on every F1 fan's mind is the next season and the questions it brings with it, such as what team is going to be on the top, what team is going to go down, and which driver is going to win the championship. There are many theories and answers for these questions, and I just feel like I wanted to put one forward that might have been overlooked. I am, of course, talking about the double world champion Fernando Alonso and his countryman colleague Carlos Sainz. This is my pitch as to why I think they could be a thorn in the side of every other team in 2022. Hi guys, I'm Jack, and this is F1 Diaries. The two-time world champion's return to Formula 1 was certainly a surprise, and nobody expected him to perform the way he has, but he's only gone in and put some of the best drives of the season, and proved that he can still hold it up with the best of the best. A great example of this was his performance in Hungary, when he managed to hold off Hamilton and give Esteban Ocon the win, and also his performance in Qatar, where he managed to get a podium, something he hadn't done in 7 years. When looking at 2021, it's fair to say that Alpine have had their fair share of ups and downs, with Esteban winning a race, but also being very inconsistent. They did also manage to beat AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship, but anyone would really say that's down to Yuki Tsunoda's poor performance. The thing is though, Alpine have actually put themselves in quite a good place for the 2022 season, as they were one of the first teams to start developing their car early in the year and stop developing their current car. They have also been using the same engine since 2019 and have been working on a new one just for the regulations, and if they get everything right aero-wise, they could really hit the ground running. Now, the average person's response to that would be, yeah okay Fernando, but where's Esteban in this equation? Well, honestly, I just think that Fernando would beat him. Yes, Esteban managed to get a race win this year, but other than that, he's been really inconsistent. I mean, pretty much immediately after he signed his contract, he had some terrible races. Whereas Fernando, apart from some shaky qualifying performances, has overall done really well in the year. I mean, all you have to do is look at his stats. He was second in overtakes all year, and some of the drives he put in were so impressive. Which really begs the question, what would happen if he was in one of the top cars? I personally think he'd win. Fernando has also managed to beat Esteban in his first year coming here after Esteban has had a year to get used to the car. And for these regulations, they're both going to have to get used to the new car, meaning I think Fernando will be able to edge him out. Let's not also forget that Fernando has done this before. He's a two-time world champion and potentially even deserved a third. Now, yes, Esteban has performed well at the front of the grid, but that's not the same. Holding your own at the front of the race is impressive, but doing it all season, that takes a lot, and I just think Fernando could do it better than Esteban. Now to move on to the second Spaniard, and the man who I think has gone completely under the radar all season. When Carlos Sainz joined Ferrari, everyone was pretty sure that it would be a cut and dry second driver situation, but this year he's really proved that he is not a second driver, and he won't sit down for Charles Leclerc. By outperforming him in his opening season, he's really set the pace. Now yes, there are a lot of people who could say Charles Leclerc has had relative reliability issues throughout the year, but he has just made a few mistakes, like in Monaco where he binned it into the wall. The thing is that Carlos Sainz has just been more consistent. I mean, out of 22 races, he's finished 20 in the points. And the 2 races that he didn't finish in the points, he finished 11th. That's a crazy amount of consistency. Now to talk about the Scuderia and how I think they're going to do next year. Just to mention first, Tomo F1 has done a great video on this, and it's all about why he thinks they may be the champions next year. Great video, would definitely recommend it. For the last 15 years, Ferrari have really been out of contention, and I find it crazy to think that Kimi Räikkönen was their last world champion. The only time since then would be when Alonso lost it in Brazil in 2012, and when Vettel was challenging for the title in 2018. After that, it went even more downhill, with their scandal in 2019, and the subsequent FIA engine nerf they received. The thing I find funny is that this scandal may eventually help them. This is mainly because they had to use their terrible engine for the 2020 season, meaning they finished lower down in the standings, which has given them even more air tunnel time for the coming regulations. In my opinion, that would be a hilarious turn of fate. Another thing to mention is how well Carlos has moved in with Ferrari. In the pre-season, he was said to be spending crazy amount of times in the factory, learning things and just trying to mould himself into that team. And I really believe that that has helped him to gain a stronger foothold over the car and the team. If he decides to put the same amount of commitment into the 2022 car, then Charles might really have a problem. So there you have it. That's my pitch as to why I think Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso are going to have a great 2022. Now, obviously guys, these are just theories, and there's any chance I could be completely wrong about all of it. But I think the one thing we can all agree on is that we're all excited for the coming season, and everything it brings with it.